All right, today I'm very excited to welcome our special guest, Helen. Helen has been with our organisation for 18 months now. She specialises in both trust accounting, rentals and sales, also general accounting. She has a broad array of experience in our business, but Helen is very well known for her fantastic customer service skills, and she's great at networking externally and internally, a very popular person here in our office. So thank you, Helen, and welcome.
Thank you for inviting me for today.
So you joined our team 18 months ago. I always remember our interview with you. You just came across so well in the interview, so passionate. And you actually moved for this role, didn't you?
Yeah, actually. So I originally graduated as a civil engineering, which is a huge difference from what I'm doing now.
Yes.
So I was so lucky that after my graduation, I got started working in very small real estate company in the trust accounting role. I see a recruitment on your website, and this is where my journey begins with hastings+co.
Oh, and we are absolutely so lucky to have you here. So your expertise is very strong. So civil engineering, you said?
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. How lucky are we to have you here and that brain here with us?
Thank you. This is where I really enjoy working with numbers and logical thinkings. So I think it's something related, and also this is because my mom used to be an accountant.
So it's in the blood.
Yeah, so I guess it's kind of in my blood. I love working with numbers, so.
Beautiful. So when we met you for your interview, so our office is located in Bentley, as you know. When we met you for your interview, where were you living?
I used to live in western suburb, which is really far. It can take me up to an hour or 2 hours driving.
Yeah, an hour, nearly 2 hours, really peak time, can't it?
Yeah, I know. And I've always been living with my family since little.
Yes.
And even we started moving here, we still live as the Asian family. We always live together.
Yes.
So this is where I say, yes, it's also my opportunity to live by myself, to experience something very different, to getting more independent, organizing my time, working, getting to know new friends, people.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And to have you move over this side of town, closer to the office, still, as you've said, living in a really nice environment where you're supported by family friends, but it must be a lot easier for you on this side of town, obviously, as well.
Yeah, in terms of traveling to work, it's absolutely easier. But I also live very close to a Vietnamese community in Springvale, so I will have my Vietnamese food around.
Yeah, I know, it's all around, isn't it? So when you were living in the West, was Footscray your hotspot? Isn't there about 80 Vietnamese restaurants in Footscray?
Yeah.
Yeah, and how many are in Springvale?
I can count.
So you've still got your local hotspots, which is awesome. So as I mentioned before, you've been with our business for 18 months and you've actually got a really broad range of skills. We've got you across general accounts in MYOB and Xero. Then we've got you across trust accounts in Property Me and Property Tree. But you've also used like other programs like Vault and some other sale programs as well. So you're actually really, really versatile. What do you enjoy the most?
In terms of software, I would love to use Property the most. Is it because I think it's most of my clients on Property, of course.
Yeah.
But it's also that I think Property Me have very great functional tasks.
Yes.
Which sometimes I prefer the client send me tasks, so it's easier for me to keeping track on things that I need to action.
And when it comes to the type of work, what do you love doing? Which type of account are you the most passionate about? Is it the general side of things? Is it the trust side?
In terms of that, I reckon general account is more challenging, especially in payroll.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will spend hours to try to implement the process of the payroll, or in daily basics, general account is not as busy as trust accounting side.
Yes.
But when it's come to they having an issue or getting inquiries, I would love to spend
time prioritising.
investigate why that happening.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I just thought of something. Your 6-month review was 12 months ago now, but that was a bit of a standout for me when we had your 6-month review meeting. One of the questions that we put to our team members at the 6-month mark is, are there any mistakes or events that had occurred during the 6 months that they wanted to take back or change over or do again? What you answered there always stuck with me. I'm not sure if you can remember the answer, but it absolutely stuck with me, and I loved that premise of thinking. Can you remember what you stated there?
Yes, I do. I always keep it in my mind now, is that I will not regret of the mistake that I made, but it is the lesson that I wanted to take and learn from that.
Yep. And I love that because I know subconsciously I've actually lived by that mantra as well. Back in the early days when I started doing software training and implementation, there's a lot of moving parts in that role, and I know I certainly made mistakes over the time, and I'd be out in the car park crying over these mistakes. But every single one of these mistakes I learned from, I documented, I created processes or procedures, and it actually made me better at what I do. And I think you've got that same mentality that you're not going to take it back because you wouldn't have learnt or grown if that didn't happen, but it's how you take action on the event after it occurred. So that always stuck with me, and I really loved that.
Oh,
thank you for that insight there. It was fantastic. Now, you recently went back home. You've had a couple of trips recently, very well deserved. Where are you from, and what did you do back home on your most recent trip?
So I'm from Vietnam. I migrated here to Australia 10 years ago. I had no English at that time. So it was a bit really struggling and hard for me to, getting to the new environment, to connect with friends, or we have no family here except my parents. So it's a bit tough, but it's where I really grow independently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at this time after COVID, I haven't been traveling back overseas for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So I've been saving up to visit the rest of my family in Vietnam, and also I think it's gonna be my most great choice of my life to have my eye surgery done.
Yes, fantastic. So you've had some cutting surgery done that I don't think we've even got available here yet in Australia, do we? Or
it is not very popular procedure, so I got it back in Vietnam, where I know that there's a couple of my family's friends already have done it, and it's been really successful by that surgeon.
So it means no glasses now for you. And can you feel the improvement in your eyesight, or?
Yeah, exactly. It was a bit, it's a little bit hard, and my eyes are quite sensitive when I'm just coming back to work. But after a week, everything gets back starts to normal. So I say to everyone, it's just a life changing.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Now, I received an email about 3 or 4 weeks ago from one of our clients. His name is Corey. He heads up the department there, the rental department at Ray White and Darlinghurst. We love working with Peter and Corey and the team out there, and they're very prestigious, very well known and fantastic operators over there in Sydney. The email was talking about your fantastic customer service. Corey would have put a bit of effort into writing this, and we all know that property managers are busy. But he took the time to write me to say that your customer service skills are outstanding and that you're always going above and beyond to help. I read that email out to the team in a company meeting. How did that make you feel? And share us your hot tips on how we can deliver that service to our customers ongoing.
It was so touching. It was so touching. After my leave, I actually contacted Corey because there's a couple of queries that he needs to get the service done. So I'll actually call him and update on him. We actually getting close on top of just writing email. We actually call each other to build the connection with the clients. I know that building connection with a client is where I build the trust from them. They really trust what I've done or my advices. rather than just writing a normal email with no tone. There's no connection. We're asking each other about the weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
So with the rest of the team, I get really along well with them, helping new staff member on board.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you, and that's one thing that is a standout for you. In this modern day and age and technology and instant messaging at our fingertips, a lot of people do get trapped in the kind of constant written communication. Whilst we know that is important, it is doubly important to pick up the phone and build relationships. That's an area you have not shied away from at all, and I'm so proud of you for that. Was that difficult for you at first, especially because you've just told us 10 years ago you didn't know a word of English? Like, you're amazing. Was that confronting for you to be so proactive in picking up the phone and building relationships, or did it come naturally?
I think it's a part of inside of me that I wanted to show people that I care.
Yes.
Then that my love is for them. So it's inside of me, but it's hard for me to express it in English.
Yes.
At the time.
Yeah.
So once I getting to know the job, I started actually picking up the phone, getting to know them, explaining things rather than writing an email back and forth.
Yes, that can go round and round.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on that, we recently did some training with a third-party organisation that we got to come into our business, and we did 2 modules on email training. Was there anything there that you learned that you can share with me today that you think was a great tip for you in email training, or writing emails, when to write them, how to write them?
Absolutely. It's an absolutely amazing workshop that I can learn a lot of things from that. One thing is I had to actually read my email to make sure I have a no tone whenever.
Yes. What about when they said we should all read our emails backwards to proof them? I haven't done that yet. Have you been reading backwards, Helen?
I have time to read it back.
I have time to read forward and learn backwards. But that was an interesting one as well.
Yeah. And always writing in passive tone.
Yes, yes. No, it was really interesting learning, wasn't it? And to find out that there are some even common things that we're all using, such as a dash. Apparently dashes don't exist, or semicolons don't exist anymore. Yeah. I'm not giving up on my semicolons, but
I still using it.
I still use them, yes. I'm not moving to an M dash. Now, you work really closely with a number of team members here in our business. You've actually worked with a number of different pod leaders in your time here as well.
Yeah,
you have.
exactly.
You've worked with Sebastian, you've worked with Rebecca, and we've recently moved you to a new manager, Yasmin, and that's purely because we've just gone through a little bit of movement with the business in our specialty areas. Okay. So you have had a little bit of movement. But it does mean that you've had exposure and experience with all different types of people in the business. Is there any person or people that come to mind as a mentor to you, or someone that you really rely on day to day as your confidant or your buddy?
Oh yeah, all the managers are absolutely supporting me endlessly. I think I'm very lucky to go to most of the posts in the company.
Yeah.
Is where I can adapt different managing style.
Yes, yeah.
It's just about me learning on the curve of understanding on different managing styles. So
Yes.
I will say I'm very lucky to go through most of the pods.
Yes.
But the person that I would really want to appreciate as the pod leaders, except you and Shannon as the head managers, I would say I really appreciate Seb as my first guidance.
Yes, yes. You had a really special bond under Seb, and you learned a lot under him actually, because you got the bulk of your portfolio was assigned to you under Sebastian. I think a lot of those clients he had previously worked on as well.
Yeah.
So you had a really close handover period, and that was a really good working relationship, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know about other people, but I always remember the first person who really helping me. I would keep it like in my heart.
In your heart, you'll always remember Seb. That's adorable. What about your peers? I know you're a very popular person here in the office. Everyone thinks you're fantastic, but you've got a couple of peers that I know are your you really rely on each other. Who are they?
My best and buddy,
Yeah, you and Ong are a pair, aren't you?
Yeah,
we
it
love
was
watching
good.
you work together, and it's not just work, it's also the way that you interact on a friend level as well. I can see that. I'm just so happy for the friendship that has formed there, and the way that you rely and lean on each other when it comes to advice, work or not. It's really wonderful to watch. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I absolutely looking with Ong, even though sometimes he can be a bit difficult to interact with from outside. One of the colleagues say that Ong is only nice to Helen.
Is that what they're saying, really? But I love that, because you can just say, "Oh, stop it," or you can just tell him off, can't you? And you do, don't you?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here today with us, Helen, and I hope we have another chat with that soon.
Thank you, Nat.